respected Chancellor, Vice Chancellor, Pro-Chancellor, Registrar of Evaluation, and two friends of mine, principals here, and Mr. Jinendra, all my respected teachers, Abdul Rahman Sir, Chandrasekhar Sir, all young friends, and things like this. It's a matter of surprise and also a matter of pride in Bangalore today. Let me tell you why we are all very proud and why we are all surprised in Bangalore today. Most of the students are from outside Karnataka. I'm therefore, sure that I have to only speak in English. Otherwise, I would have enjoyed talking in Kannada. We are all surprised at the university level, at the academics level, for the simple reason that Yen today, Yenepoya institution today, the most privileged institutions today, has created a history which raises all eyebrows in social sciences today. Most of the universities in India and the colleges in Karnataka, especially in Bangalore, are just closing down the humanities subjects. Surprising because a place called Bangalore is not allowing humanities subjects to survive and then, motivate students to take up humanities subjects. Here is one deep university, very privileged, as Dr. A good friend of mine, while welcoming said it. Very premier institute is venturing into introducing BA programs, of course with different combinations as well, BA programs, and try to see that this BA program becomes foundation to CivilYen. I'm really surprised because where do you get this courage to start, and how do you get this courage to start BA programs when most of the people are closing the chapter? NEP, most of you know, and I'm happy that the syllabus is designed, the program is designed on the basis of 4-year programs, 3+1. And that also encourages, in a way, a larger number of students, young friends today. But most of them have thought that the students who have studied BA, studied humanities, have become absolutely not asset, but liabilities to the society. Let me tell you why the students from the social science becomes liabilities. At least in Bangalore, when most of the colleges have opened doors for the commerce, and they're all professional courses, and none of them thought this course, particularly humanities course, and then BA, is not, very lucrative, for the simple reason that it doesn't give you a kind of income. It's not just because of the income part that you have discouraged humanities or social sciences. At least for the sake of, not for the degrees of, the days on the senior professors here who have seen the world, and particularly Professor Abdul Rahman, traveled through the world and has become almost an advisor. Whenever a university has a problem, and we look forward to Professor Abdul Rahman for advice. And he has seen the world. The postgraduate students or degree students who study humanities have become, at least to this society today, not asset, but as liability, because social sciences ask you to raise fundamental questions. Fundamental questions. Web of economics professor here. BA is not just combinations of psychology, history, and then the journalism, whatever. The fact that Bachelor of Arts is introduced here is to be appreciated because of the courage. Whoever is behind this idea, I must appreciate, because this is what exactly was missing and is missing in India today. All social sciences teachers, students have been pushed to the wall, marginalized, because these people unnecessarily ask questions. Every time you want to talk, you talk in the background of the Constitution of India, rights and duties, and that's why entire BA programs are being discouraged. I'm really therefore surprised, my dear young friends. Yenepoya University has started BA, which is trying to bring back the glory, where the glory of interaction. There is a big debate, most of my senior faculty knows it, there is a big debate with science versus arts. The science teachers and the professors have been very silent, absolutely both in the class and the laboratories, until they reach to the global audit, and then do their research and contribute for the development of the society. What do the arts people do? Arts people encourage students, particularly youngsters, to raise fundamental questions. Therefore, they have become always a liability here. What are those questions that the arts people have started asking? Why do the IAS officers today do not discharge properly the duties? Why do the teachers do not discharge the duties today? A student who studies history today will ask fundamental question tomorrow, as Mr. Kotian said, why are you teaching something which is not there in the history? Why are you teaching economics which is not going to deal anything as far as the Indian farmers are concerned? Public policy is one of the programs, wonderful program. And then she will ask the questions, and then the students will ask questions. Why are you simply giving an idea, wrong idea, about the public policies in India, particularly about the agriculture, medical policies, under the agricultural policies, economic policies? Therefore, really I am surprised. I am so proud today, even if it is going to be not a very healthy response. I don't think that many people will appreciate. I, as a student of history, political science, appreciate the courage. And then, Chancellor Saab, this is one of the real happening in India, where you started ignite the minds of the youngsters who would rather one day ask question why this country is the way it is. Thank you so much for the courage. On behalf of all the students and the faculty throughout India, that I congratulate Yenepoya University, particularly Chancellor, for doing a wonderful job in terms of introducing BA program. Number two, which is very important for me, we are all proud because at least at some point of time, a professional university like this is also thinking, beside producing the doctors and beside producing the engineers, world-class doctors, in all the fields. I've seen how the doctors from Yenepoya have traveled through the world and making names today. And in spite of also producing the wonderful doctors, medical experts, now you've also started understanding the need that we need to also produce competent officers today who really understand the genesis of India today. And we also would like to see, tomorrow you become an IFS officer, tomorrow you become a very important foreign service administrator, you understand the politics. I would have loved to see Mr. Kadir being here. We would like to understand tomorrow at least as to why the legislature and the executive in India are always in charge. Are you going to have an IAS officer who would simply nod his head to the legislatures? Are you going to become an IAS officer just because you are very passionate to become an IAS officer? Are you going to become a foreign administrator just because you want to take the world tour and then enjoy and come back? Because you enjoy all the privileges as well? My dear young friends, I'm really so proud today that the taste is going to be spread across as far as this privileged posts are concerned. An IAS officer was a custodian of all the revenue records today, has many things to do. I don't think that for the last 7 decades in India, if all the IAS officers were to work properly according to the Constitution of India, none of us would have been homeless today. There are n number of people today, n number of families today, they don't have even proper shelter to live. How is that the Indian Administrative Service throughout India have been showing the blind eyes to this kind of attitude when the entire power of revenue is given to your hands? And then any officer, I would have also loved to see the Deputy Commissioner today here, Mr. Jagdish, and let Mr. Jagdish or any other would have been telling, no, see, we have a politics in India today which is not allowing us to distribute the land so that each one of us becomes a landholder. Even if it is 5 cents of land, things would have been better. My dear young friends, join here with a passionate, spirit and then a commitment that you are going to become an IAS officer. You are going to become an administrative officer who will implement the policies which is already written, in India. Nobody has to do anything. The only thing that you need to do is to simply implement what is there. And don't ever say you're not permitted to implement because of the politics that is existing. My dear young friends, what a wonderful initiation in Mangalore today. I've always seen either you become a doctor, you become an engineer or a banker in Mangalore. I've been in the field for the last 20 years. I'm now working with Byju's for a fortunate or unfortunate thing. They pay you so much. But the idea is that you produce the IAS officers. And ask every next person, why do you want to become IAS officer? He would rather, he or she would say, look, I'm really passionate about it because lots of privileges. There are people here and there to support you. This passionate has to come from, the history of this country, politics of this country, culture of this country. Your eyes must be watching everything that is existing. What a wonderful note he has given. He said that in 50 examinations, yet he becomes a simple man, though he is a KS officer today in Mangalore. Now, the more and the more you study, the more and the more you understand, and then here, you need to become absolutely a human being rather than growing above the reality. And all IAS officers today, IFS officers today, IPS officers today have to show these guts. If Rashtra has to be built, if nation has to be built, all those executive officers have to be built on these lines. India has to be protected, provided all officers become absolutely policy oriented. If it is only politics and then politics makes the business, then there is absolutely no meaning to Constitution of India. And the guts has been already shown here. Sir, it is not just a beginning of BA course. You are sending a message to the country that, look, we are also people here going to raise voice against everything that happens, all messy kind of activities here. Sometimes I feel, I have no materials to teach my students in post-graduation when they ask fundamental questions. Sir, what have you done for the last 37 years? What have you done for the last 37 years? You are never even able to change the lifestyle in Mangalore, and then you begin to boast about a number of things today. What kind of answers will I be able to give? Therefore, beginning a course is not just providing, it's not just talking about the infrastructure, and then the course, and then all those things. It is the courage that you have demonstrated. The spirit of redefining India is being demonstrated today. I'm really so proud, and absolutely for the last 10 years or so, nothing made me so happy when I received an invitation, not because you are trying to make CivilYen, not because it is that we are going to in next 10 years or so, we will produce IAS officers. I'm so proud because the BA is brought back, not because I'm going to be given a job here. I'm trying to say, you started a small, note on the minds of everybody because people started thinking. So the history of this country, the culture of this country, politics of this country are going to be fundamentals as far as the IAS debate is concerned. Discussions are concerned. Mr. Rooney here, I was told that he is in Delhi, and I'm here to tell you, look, when we go to the Administrative Training Institute to train the young IAS officers, we ask them, what is it that you know about the culture of this country? Culture? What culture? Western? Yeah, I know the culture. Sir, we need to be really seeing what is there around us. We need to understand the pulse of this society. And this, I'm sure, the BA course that you are offering will be able to ignite the minds of students, and they will become really sensitive to the society so as to become IAS, IPS and IFS officers. What a wonderful beginning it is, my dear friends. Number 2, and I am in 2 minutes, I'll close. If at all, the centers of competitive examinations like this have to survive, let it not be, Mr. Rooney knows this, how it works out, since he worked in an institution, let it not be a mere classroom exercise. Saab has already, Vice Chancellor Sir has already, requested Mr. Kotian to come and help the institution. There is a thorough, japa that needs to be. A sannyasa has to be accepted here. A commitment has to be accepted. It's not simply passing and then reading and then completing the examinations of IAS. So much of hard work is there. It is as simple as any other examinations. So my advice would be, bring those people, even if it is going to be a little expensive. Bring those wonderful people from Hyderabad and then Chennai. And then we have a communication, both air as well as train facilities. Bring them here, give them the task, let it be really a task work where the students are made to be on their toes. Let it not be a class for the sake of class. This is one. Number 2, regular tests needs to be conducted so that in next 2-3 months or so, the students are volunteered to be, as part of the IAS coaching classes. It's not going to be coaching class only, where the coaching class is going to be, prepared, designed this way. There are students, I'm here as a coacher. It's not that. It is going to be a sort of learning, mutual learning from the students. Let it be more creative so that each one of us become absolutely interested. Let it not be only a priority for the medical students, as I was told. It is going to be kept open for all those people, provided that they have completed their graduation. What a wonderful idea in Bangalore. The passionate life of medical and then the engineering and then the banking are also going to be slightly diverted if this becomes absolutely a professional institution. I pray God that CivilYen becomes a historical institution, as Arun said, Dr. Arun said in the beginning. It's going to be really historical because in next 4-5 years, one IAS officer. We had large number of institutions here. We tried, sir, and I accept that I am a failure here because I have not been able to create that interest in among the youngsters in Bangalore. They want to become a banker, they want to become an engineer, they want to become a doctor, not an IAS officer. And more so, none of them are interested in public sector jobs. They all are interested in private sector. In public sector, no. Government job, no government job. I'll tell you, my dear friends, this nation has to survive. This nation has to be protected, provided you guys becomes part of the public sector jobs. Otherwise, the public sector, remember what happens. All the scapegoats, anything that can go, against, anything can go in favor of people who have enough money. It should not be. And then I'm sure this is the message that this institution has sent to the entire nation today. I'm really proud when I said you have created history, not just because I wanted to say history is created in Yenepoya because I've been invited. History is created with the message, look, we are here to produce those students, they will take care of the nation for the next few, decades. Chancellor Sir, on behalf of all of us here and the entire people of Bangalore, I once again congratulate you and appreciate your spirit. And number 2, all those people who have spent their time and then a mind and all kinds of reason in making this program more successful, and see that the youngsters make use of these benefits. Institutions have survived because the institutions had resources to survive. But surviving, institutions have to survive with your support. That's a different, experience altogether. That's a different experience altogether. Thank you so much. I pray God that this institution and this course and these students will be a national asset in the days to come. Thank you so much.